Kevin came in and was ready to go, and he followed through every day.
Casey Fortich is an extremely caring and involved parent. Her son went through the LockOut Company's Not in Our School anti-bullying assembly program. Casey shares how the LockOut Company's own Kevin Kimes helped shape her son into the person he is today, and shares how important it is to talk to all children about bullying. Who are you, and what is your role?
My name's Casey Fortich. I am the mom of a 17-year-old boy.
How do you personally define bullying?
I personally define bullying as anything that's said or done that's meant to cause intentional harm. And that can be emotional, physical, social. It can really come in any of those ways. And especially with kids, sometimes it's about needing control and power, which I think is sometimes overlooked in a bullying aspect as to where it's coming from.
What conversations have you had with your child about bullying?
I've had a lot of conversations with my child about bullying, actually, and on both sides. Him being the bully and him receiving it. We actually have a lot more conversations about understanding it than the actual act of it. I think that's kind of, again, a little overlooked, especially with kids, because usually it's coming from someplace. But we had a lot of conversations about understanding how that makes others feel, and even when you're doing it, how that's making you feel, whether it's making you feel good, making someone else feel small, and when someone's making you feel small, how it makes you react.
What were your first impressions of Kevin Kimes?
Kevin came in and was just ready to go. He had looked over the material about my son, and I kind of had to lay it down on the line, like he can be a manipulator and he can be rough. He's got a lot of high behaviors, and he was ready to make a plan right from the get-go. And Kevin said, we're just gonna keep celebrating the little steps. We're gonna keep celebrating the little things. And it's easy to say, hey, we want a big epiphany of, a switch to flip, and then they're ready. They grew up, all of a sudden they're mature. And some kids, a win is just making it through the day. And I think as parents, we're definitely guilty of wanting a big event to celebrate. And Kevin, right from the get-go, I think that was my first initial impression, was this is gonna be a learning thing for me. He's gonna teach me a lot as a parent, and he did.
How did you feel about the Not in Our School assembly program?
I felt like it was great. I feel like he decided to take a different route to get the kids to really pay attention. And that's one of the great things about him, is he pays attention to each child as their own human being. And he went, okay, how can I get them to really take this in? Like my son, I know for sure that the acceptance and being understanding of everyone, that was a big thing with him. He strives for that, to say, hey, what is gonna get the biggest connection with these kids? And he goes for that.
What do you think makes Kevin Kimes so special?
What makes him special is that you can see it in him. He gets excited about it. He gets, riled up. You can see all of it come through him, whether it's just him speaking or whether it's him playing music. It's infectious, really. It makes you want to be on his train. If he doesn't get that connection with someone, he can see it, and then he reaches out and takes that next step. I think he's very aware of who he reaches and who he doesn't. And when he doesn't, he does, like I said, he takes that next step and says, all right, I need something a little extra to hit, this age group or this kind of kid, and I think that he applies that every time. And I think that's what makes the kids really respond to him. I know that's what made my son respond to him, is because he knew he wanted it for him.
Any other thoughts on LockOut's Not in Our School assemblies?
I think it's a really great thing that you guys are doing, especially nowadays with the online and everything. It's so much harder to keep on top of. And I think the fact that he's making it conversations, I think that's important. And Kevin's always been one to have the hard conversations and, force that acknowledgement. But I mean, my son probably would not be in gen ed classes and, starting on sports teams and everything if he wouldn't have had that.
Hey, thanks for watching. You can watch another video here or subscribe right there. If you have any questions, you can comment them down below or reach out through our website. And if you found this content helpful, leave a like and share so we can continue making schools and facilities safer.